Biologists classify living things into three large groups called domains: the domain Eukarya, the domain Archaea, and the domain Bacteria. All living things that are part of the domain Eukarya are made of eukaryotic cells. On the other hand, living things that are part of the domain Archaea and the domain Bacteria are made of prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells are large, complex cells. Prokaryotic cells are smaller and simpler cells. Eukaryotic cells have a cell membrane or plasma membrane which separates the cell from its environment and contains the cytoplasm. Within the cytoplasm, a membrane called the nuclear envelope surrounds the DNA of the cell and separates it from the cytoplasm. Within the cytoplasm, numerous membrane-bound organelles can be found. Organelles like mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi apparatus. Also found within the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cells are non-membrane-bound organelles like ribosomes. On the other hand, the smaller prokaryotic cell also contains a cell membrane or plasma membrane which separates the cell from its environment. The cell membrane contains the cytoplasm. However, as a difference from eukaryotic cells, prokaryotic cells do not have a membrane-bound nucleus. Its DNA is found in a discrete area of the cytoplasm. Also within the cytoplasm, non-membrane-bound organelles like ribosomes can be found. However, no large membrane-bound organelles are found within the prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells are large, complex cells with a cell membrane, membrane-bound organelles, and a DNA surrounded by a nuclear envelope. Prokaryotic cells are much smaller. They do have a cell membrane, a cytoplasm. However, they lack membrane-bound nuclei and membrane-bound organelles. You should now be able to define biodiversity, prokaryotic cell, eukaryotic cell. You should be able to list two characteristics or properties that are shared by members of all domains. What two characteristics can you find in both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells? What two differences can you find between the bacteria and the eukarya domains? In reading your textbook, you should have found what the prefixes pro and eu mean. What does the root karyo mean? And therefore, what does the term prokaryo or eukaryote mean? From this list of cell structures, you should be able to determine which of these structures can be found in a prokaryotic cell and which would be found in a eukaryotic cell. Which of these structures can be found in both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells?